supported and helped in this service. So I was just really thrown back with, what is he talking about? How in the world is selling service? What do you mean? This whole concept of called, to serve. One second, I'm getting feedback from my stream. Okay. I think I got it now. All right. Do you guys hear any feedback now? Because I thought I heard some extra feedback coming from my recording.
It's clear for
It's
me.
clear. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I wanted to definitely have this conversation because I think this could help so very many people, Christina, as we sit and think about that whole concept. Because I know when I first heard it, I felt a certain type of way. So I'm wondering, did it require courage for you when you started on your selling journey? Or were you always courageous since you were in the military?
Well, I think, Shawnte, I think everybody needs courage. It's, when venturing out and doing certain things, but absolutely, look, it did definitely require courage for me, my selling journey in the military, and anything else that I do. I believe that I've always been like I said, go getter earlier. Um, did you, in your question, repeat your question again? Because I want to make sure that I hit a certain point.
Did it require you to have courage to start, like to get started? Like I think sometimes people can get in their own way, or maybe they overthink it. Like, or did you just start, or did you have to talk yourself or work yourself up to get started on this journey of selling and your business and IYMS, that kind of thing? Did you have to have courage?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think everybody needs, needs courage when they, are venturing out and doing things. Um, when I before I went into the military, I believe that I've always been a seller. Because I was in a Brownie, I was a Brownie in Girl Scouts, and I was a Brownie in Girl Scouts, and Lord knows I sold lots of cookies, lots of cookies. But I believe I've always been a seller. I believe it's in me, a go getter. But no, it has not always been easy. Um, I think for me, when I set out to do something, um, a lot of times it feels challenging to me. But if I know that is something that I'm supposed to get done, and I have that feeling that this has to get done, I am going to talk to myself. I'm going to pray through it. I'm going to I encourage myself a lot, to push through the things that I need to push through. Um, so yes, courage is definitely needed. And for me to overcome the fear, the anxiety, all the things that I need to overcome as I'm doing all the things, like I said, I talk my way through it with positive words, affirmations, with God in mind, and knowing that He is there to help me get through it. Because we all know that if He gave us the things to do, then He'll help us get through them. And so I always keep that top of mind, with everything. Going into the military was not a hard decision for me. I had a cousin that went in early, first a year early, and she pretty much, didn't have any negative things to say about it. And right after high school, I knew that I wanted to leave home, but I did not want to go straight to college, but I wanted to do something. And so I decided to go into the military. That was not a hard decision for me because I just knew that I wanted to do something and not go to college right away. But I will tell you that all through the military, selling, everything that I mentioned, just mentioned, is how I get through. Even now. So I hope that answered your question.
Whew, it absolutely did. I was trying to share out the room as you were answering this. But here's the thing. I'm wondering if, people think, okay, well, you just needed courage to start, but do you also need courage to continue to keep going though, Christina?
Yeah.
I love that.
Sometimes it's easy to get started. Sometimes because I know that it's like I say, it's what I need to be doing. But yeah, there are times where I get to a point where I just don't want to keep going. Even with IYMS, there was a moment where, I almost talked myself out of, stopping before I even started in 2019, because that first summit was 2020, January. But I had to keep going because, one, I heard God's voice in my head say that I gave you this to do. And two, I knew I had to keep going because it's an assignment. And I know that if I didn't get the assignment started, if I didn't, continue on with the assignment, nothing else was going to fall in place for me. I know that for a fact, because I've experienced that in my previous industry. So yeah, it took courage to keep going. Even now, it does. There are times that I want to throw in the towel on certain things, but I know that it's part of my assignment, and so I have to get through. I got to talk my way through. I got to pray my way through. I got to do whatever I need to do to get through, whatever that is, because I know that it's part of my path and my assignment. And so, I don't know about y'all, but I mentioned earlier that I'm God fearing. And so I don't want to miss my blessings because I'm ignoring what He has given me to do. But yes, definitely, Shawnte, it takes courage to keep going.
I
Sometimes,
love
like
it.
I said, it's easy to get started, but it definitely takes courage to keep going.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I tell people like I could start quickly. It's that middle, that money in the middle. That courage piece is where it really truly makes or breaks whether or not I get to the end because once I get that second win, oh, I can get to the end of the matter. It's that middle piece, Christina. So I love that you brought up that it does, sometimes at times require courage to keep that thing going. And there are so many people that have been involved in your journey, and I wonder if the whole concept of this servant leadership thing is that allowed you because I think that we sell ourselves and it's required to sell. And when we are truly called to sell, if we think about it, I have to sell myself on days that I want to hit the snooze button and don't want to get up and get started on my what I call my live long, live strong plan, get on my vibration plate, get my water, get my walking or if I'm not walking to turn up that vibration plate or to get my gratitude journaling going or whatever the thing is or get started sending my stuff out to my clients or whatever the system is. I think if people understood that we're called to something greater, to something higher, and we're selling all the time, and we are not, there are people that say, "Oh, well, I'm not salesy." What does that mean? You've sold somebody on a restaurant or a movie to try or a book even. Many of us just sold a book. We've mentioned books, and one of the greatest all-time best-selling books of all time, I believe, is the Bible. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's still the Bible, right? And Think and Grow Rich. And I gave an extra, review just that quick on the power of the book that Mary Lynn brought up. We're selling all the time, and I'm wondering if some of that service and selling is intertwined in that whole concept that I've heard people mention, that servant leadership thing. Like, is that some way, shape, or form, like, are we supposed to be servant leaders, Christina? Or, is that something completely, separate? Or do you think it's hogwash that we're not, serving through selling?
Well, I absolutely believe that we are serving through selling. Selling is service. I do believe that because, I mean, in my opinion, when we sell our product, when we sell our service, when we do all of our sellings and whatever that we do that we're trying to sell, um, specifically a product and a service, I do believe that it is service because we are fulfilling a need. We are hopefully satisfying pain points for our customers, for the people that are coming to us for whatever it is that they're coming to us for. So I do believe that it is selling is absolutely service. As far as servant leadership, um, I don't think that this. How do I put this? Um, I believe that I am a servant leader. I don't think that everyone is a servant leader. Um, Honestly, before I heard Glenn Lundy explain what a servant leader is, I always thought that. a servant leader was one who served, right? Who served, but it's not only a person who serves, right? After hearing Glenn Lundy explain it, and then going back to read up on it myself, I found out that a servant leader is one who seeks opportunity to serve, um, and one who puts the needs of other people above their own, and one who empowers um, others to succeed. So not just serving alone, but all those things put together. But to answer your question again, I do absolutely believe that selling is absolutely service, in my opinion. Yes.
I definitely do. Like, I know that you, and I've told you this before and yesterday in TM's room, and I definitely bought some party crashers in here, you guys, because I know for a fact that, had Christina stayed silent and not told, us about a service, a product that she had, I know that my mom would have still been suffering. I know that her hands and the back of her neck would have still been suffering. Like that has been a ministry to me and my family. That I listen, if y'all ain't never had that satin hands, if you could understand just on a small level what it's like to have to go out into the Florida sun without any melanin in certain parts of your body, it can really truly be a hard thing to do day in and day out, and to find products that actually work and actually can soothe and make someone who does have vitiligo, as what runs in my family, really truly get some relief without all of the hogwash. I'm so grateful she spoke up. My aunt was really going through some stuff. I'm so grateful that Patty spoke up one day. And that's how I ended up with a mug with my Uncle Jimmy's picture on it. And my aunt is not an emotional person. She's a tough cookie like my mom. And to see her cry when I gave that mug to her, and that's why I'm looking forward to the holiday season. So whose life could be impacted, by you speaking up and actually understanding that your service could be truly a solution, and it really truly you're called to sell. We all are. We all are. So even if you're not a servant leader, we still have something, that a solution that we're supposed to be providing if we're in business in some way, to others. Or maybe you need to look at selling yourself on your health. Maybe you need to look at partnering with someone in a certain initiative or a certain cause. And many people on stage, which is one of them I bought to the party early, it's just Mr. T.M. Hyman, Miss Christina. I would love to know, TM, why is it? What is it about what Christina's been doing that has made you tie in and want to support IYMS? Because Books in the Hood is all in on IYMS. So I want to know from you, brother, why is it? Why do you support, IYMS? Why is it that Christina is this is such an important thing to you? TM, over to you, brother.
Okay, me. I've been following and listening. For me, I think it's the servant leadership. As a servant leader, um, I recognize, and she's spot on with the definition of servant leadership, right? And Glenn is a servant leader, right? Also, why I've gravitated, towards him, to just like-minded, like-hearted people typically vibe, which is why we all vibe as champions in this space, right? The servant leadership, spot on. She has always sought out opportunities, right? I mean, she started out behind the scene. And that's why I love her so much, is because she's one of those silent warriors. I think in a world where people are like, pick me, right? People are very loud in what they're trying to do. She's a representative of quiet silence. I think her model and her approach to getting things done, should be taught, should be packaged. And so I appreciate her leadership, but not just that. It's her servant leadership that has had me to commit to invest in IYMS for for the last several years. And I'll be right back there in Myrtle Beach, and I invite you and you to join us in Myrtle Beach, January 20th through February 1st, as we listen, continue to support that next generation of leadership. That's our young people. Listen, I mean, I don't know where you live, but I live in America, where the conversation is being had about dismantling education. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We should all be rallying around young people and people who support young people in 2025. I mean, not just rally around, but double down. That's why I support Christine Howard. I appreciate this conversation.
Woo! I love, love, love that, brother. Listen, that is why Books in the Hood supports, IYMS. Listen, she is doing something for real. I know that Mary Lynn has come. I know that Natasha has come, and I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anyone else that's on stage. There are lots of champions who have definitely, supported IYMS. And so I would love on the other side of after Glenn's message today, I really, want us to keep this conversation going as we take the shares as well. So Christina, I would love to know why. Like why IMS? Like why even do this and why get this thing, started? Like why?
Okay, it was an assignment. It's not was, but it's an assignment. As I was coming out of the military, it is what God placed on my heart to do, to give back to my home state there in South Carolina, to the youth and young adults there. I have been approached many times to do youth events. Look, in Texas, I started it, but I was late. I started the process, but it just was not. It didn't sit right with me, so I stopped. But it's an assignment, and it's needed in the and with the youth and young adults there. Um, Many have or were and still are. They are. What's the word that I'm trying to look for? They are at risk. They're at risk, and they need a whole lot of mentorship. They need a whole lot of guidance. Most of them are coming from single parent homes. It's an assignment to answer your question, and I have to make sure that I stick with it because, like I said earlier, if I don't, um, things are not going to work out well for me because I'm ignoring what God has given me to do. But it is what He has called. It's a calling. What He has called me to do, and I am definitely going to stick with it and make sure that my purpose is being fulfilled. And I'm so grateful for you and TM and everybody else who has joined forces with me. And I know it's time to join in with them right now too. But
Thank you so much, Christina. You guys will keep this conversation going on the other side of Glenn's message. I wanted to keep my word, Mary Lynn. Unless we have, if it's a few minutes to start, then we can go until you unmic. But I wanted to make sure okay, perfect. I put in the chat the delivery of the nutrients. You guys, oh, she got my song. Hey. You guys are back in show. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. See, Mary Lynn always coming through in the clutch. So, but I love that you stay committed to that calling, and you've excited so many champions and so many people, like I said, also on stage and in the listening lounge and getting young people involved in this. And that's why I love that Books in the Hood gets an opportunity to come and show up, and we will definitely be there. I'm doing my board meeting there. So I've already told them. Yes.
another thing is, throughout the year, like people are asking, like, when is the next summit? Like, not just the youth, but we have adults that ask, when is the next summit? And so when I'm traveling back and forth here from Texas to South Carolina to do what I need to do in between throughout the year, and people are coming up to me and saying, when is the next summit? and asking me questions about it. Who's going to be there? Is this person going to be there? I mean, I hear TM's name come up a lot. Just when I was home a few minutes, a few days ago, I was asked if TM is going to be there. I was like, "Yep, TM is definitely going to be there. He's out MC every year." So TM name comes up all the time. Marcus Black name comes up all the time. Ramon, and this is why I keep having the same people come, so people can get comfortable with these speakers, especially the youth and young adults, so they can start talking to them and open it up a little bit. But people ask for the summit every year, and they're their favorite speakers, they're the speakers that they like. And so I know that it is definitely, that's one of the reasons why I keep going as well, because people are asking for it. And that's another reason why I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing with this summit. And helping the youth and young adults, but not only the youth and young adults, the adults, the parents are being helped as well. And so just wanted to add that piece in.
I absolutely can attest that that's exactly what happens. I remember when Glenn Lundy came the year before, and I think that was 2020, the start of 2024. That was January 2024. When Glenn Lundy, I'm not sure if he was there last year, but I remember Trisha's testimony and Yolanda Christensen and her husband. There were so many adults that were impacted, myself included. And so I'm just telling you, I know Mary Lynn was impacted because I saw her get up and dance. Listen, look, I'm telling you, like, this is something, bring your young people, but it is something there for you too. I'm telling you, we were all in, am I lying, Mary Lynn? Like, there was something there for all of us. Like, we really, truly were blessed being at that summit. Like, 100%. Like, TM brings it. Ramon brings it. Listen, Dora Maria brings it. Natasha was there as well. And I'm just so grateful. And I can't wait till Christina. I think I heard you say that Maria and Trisha, y'all were looking to do something in New York, that we're going to take this thing on the road at some point too, to other parts of the country. And I'm so looking forward to that day because I understand like that delivery, it matters. Having that consistency, it matters. And I love that she has been consistent, y'all. Listen, that is the only way for us to continue to move forward. That is the only way for us to really, truly get to the point where we're supposed to be. All right, Mary Lynn, I see you on mic. It looks like we're ready to roll.
For years and years and years, I've been producing this show right here, hashtag Rise and Grind. Been going live 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Took a couple breaks over the years, but ultimately we've had over 2,000 episodes. Had a little assistance from people like Ramon Ray and Scott Simons, and of course Heather Parody. I've interviewed all kinds of different people like Brian Benstock, Danelle Delgado, Eric Thomas. So many more professional football players, professional athletes, all kinds of crazy stuff, professionals in the automotive space. It's been super fun. It has shaped and molded me in so many ways. Like, life is better with hashtag Rise and Grind in it, no doubt about it. But I've been doing it all myself. As far as like production, writing the shows, production of the shows, the different camera angles. You don't see me, but I'm behind the scenes, like flipping camera angles. I'm making sure that we have audio and that we have sound. I'm making sure that the mics are working. And then, of course, I'm rolling in all these overlays. Like, here's my book, right? Here's my other book. I'm rolling in clips and videos and all these different things, right? Like, I'm building all of that and have been building all of that every day. There's some days, 2% of the time I might just go live with no production. That does happen. Sometimes I'm on the road, like I'm at the airport or something like that. And we've done that. But for the most part, I'll wake up fairly early in the morning, earlier than anybody else that I know anyway. And I'll wake up and I'll write a show, and then I'll come to my studio or wherever it is that I got to go, and I build it out and so on and so forth. And I am excited to say that after much, 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 much work and persistence, a lot of persistence, that likely is going to change. Now, it's not going to change is we're still going to do a show every day, and I get to be a part of that. But I'm actually going to have a team of people behind me that are going to help produce it, and we are actually going to produce the show out of Lex Studios, LEX Studios in Lexington, Kentucky. So the show will be produced out of there versus me just kind of doing it here on my own. and we'll have a team of people. We'll have a team for lighting. We'll have a team for audio. We'll have a team that will help with the what we call the B-roll and all the extra clips and all the extra production and so on and so forth. And we are super I personally am super excited because we've always said, hashtag Rise and Grind, what is going to be the number one morning show in the world. Well, one of the things that keeps hashtag Rise and Grind from being the number one morning show in the world is some of the technical difficulties that we have, some of the errors that we have, some of the inconsistencies. So, who else do you know? Like, for real, who else do you know that has done 2,000 episodes of any show? It's crazy. But yes, so I met with them on Friday. We've been meeting over the last few years. I met with them on Friday and working out production schedule and so on and so forth. So 2026, sometime in 2026, you're going to see hashtag Rise and Grind go to a completely different level, which I'm super excited about. Speaking of